Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about LED. Specifically, we're going to talk about why I think that you should put this modality at the very top of your list. So what does LED help with? Well, it can help with redness and rosacea. It can help with wrinkles and laxity. It can help with acne. It can help with pores and pigmentation. LED is one of the most amazing modalities in my arsenal. Now, I know that some of you think that LED might be a little bit like, whatever, but let's consider the respect that we have for the sun, for the light from the sun. We know that light on our face can indeed cause a burn. It can cause hyperpigmentation, can cause us to get a tan. All of those things are the effects that the sun has on our skin, and it is no different than the potential effects that LED can have on our skin. Only LED is at a wavelength range that has positive effects on our skin and our cells. So let's look at some before and afters, because we all love a good before and after. These are also on my blog, which I will encourage you to check out. It has a lot more information. It has charts and photos. And of course, I'm going to cite all of the studies and sources in the description box of this video, but they're all over there on the blog as well if you want to do a little bit of a deep dive. So these first photos are of a 41-year-old woman. This is her forehead, obviously, and this is from a 2014 study that I will link. These photos show the results of red LED treatments. She did 30 sessions, and she is 41 years old, and they treated her with red LED at a wavelength of 611 to 650 nanometers. Now, you can tell in the before and afters that she has an improvement in her fine lines. She has an improvement in her tone and her texture. Overall, I would say it's a pretty major improvement after 30 sessions of red LED. Now, the next set of before and afters are on a 64-year-old woman. She was treated with red and near infrared, and my goodness, you can see the improvement in the texture of her chin and neck, the improvement in the laxity, improvement in the overall tone, and improvement in her pigmentation and redness. It is a really incredible improvement after 30 sessions of red and near infrared LED. Now, the reason why that is so important to see these before and afters is because I think that a lot of us need proof positive that way to understand the way or the effects that light can have on our skin. We all know about the burning and the tanning from sun and even hyperpigmentation and skin cancer from the sun. But I think that we have this reverence for the sun, and then we look at LED and it's hard to imagine that light that can have those kind of profound effects on our skin, but they can. There are over 5,000 published studies that prove that red and near infrared and blue light do indeed work. So maybe you need a little bit more proof. Let's look at another study. There is a study done in 2007 that had 76 participants, and all of the best parameters were in place. So placebos and controls and all of the things that you want to see in a good study. And when we look at these line graphs, you can see that there was a decrease in roughness and in wrinkles and an increase in net elasticity. This was from a larger study done with great parameters, and you can see all of the details of this study over on my blog if you'd like to check it out more closely. But the overarching theme here is that LED, when applied properly, when used in the right wavelengths and the right dosages, and you're consistent with it, can definitely improve the health and the look of your skin. It can improve the roughness and the wrinkles and the elasticity. It can decrease things that we don't want and increase things that we do want. The key to all of it, in my opinion, is just being consistent and choosing correctly based on your concerns. Okay, so how does LED work? LED is just the application of certain wavelengths of light to energize our cells. When skin cells are energized, they can do their job better. Each wavelength of light is absorbed by a different chromophore or target, stimulating different rejuvenating processes. Blue light concentrates on the epidermis, where it targets bacteria, ultimately improving acne. When the bacteria absorb the blue light, there is a photochemical reaction and something called singlet oxygen is released. Singlet oxygen is bacteria's nemesis. Singlet oxygen is hard on bacteria, but gentle on the skin. Blue light is an excellent treatment for acne. Red light is absorbed into the dermis by the mitochondria. Mitochondria are known as the powerhouse of the cell, and the mitochondria absorb the red light and they produce more ATP, which is cellular energy. Red light boosts collagen and elastin, it amps up cellular renewal, and it increases hydration in the skin. Red light is excellent for overall skin rejuvenation with no heat. Near infrared gets all the way to the deepest layer of our skin and boosts many cellular functions. Near infrared helps with skin rejuvenation and repair by increasing blood flow to the skin. Blood flow to the skin brings oxygen and nutrients, resulting in healthier skin overall. So how do you choose the right LED for you? There are some questions that you need to ask yourself in order to determine the type of device you might want to get, or a type of a device you want to add to your arsenal, etc. First of all, what do you want to treat? Do you want to treat your face and neck? Do you want to treat your body? Are you planning to share this with your family members? Are you going to share it with your pets? Because LED is good for pets too. What wavelengths are important to you? Now that we know that blue will treat acne and red and near infrared are great for anti-aging, you need to decide which wavelengths are important to you and make sure that the device that you are choosing contains those wavelengths. How much time do you have to devote to LED on a regular basis? Because like everything in skincare, it's super duper important that you have the dedication to the modality in order to see some results. Do you feel like you need to stay active while you are doing your LED treatment? Are you somebody who needs to be able to vacuum the house while you're getting your LED in? Because that will make a huge difference in the type of device that you get. Some of them require you to be passive and inactive, and some of them allow you to do other things while you're getting your LED session in. What about space? Do you have a lot of room to store a device or have a device, or do you need it to be compact and be able to slide it under the bed or put it away in a drawer? This is really, really important too, because space and the size of the LED ranges big time. On that note, does your LED need to be portable? So are you somebody who travels a lot, or even maybe you are in your RV and you like to keep up with your LED treatments because again, consistency is key. So are you somebody who's really going to be able to do it all the time at home consistently? You're not worried about traveling or going places with your LED, or is it the opposite for you? Are you somebody who travels a bit, or you are in an RV part of the year? You need to think ahead to even different seasons of the year when you may not be able to be home and use your LED, because again, and I will try to drive this home, the consistency of using your LED is what's going to get you the results that you want. So you need to be able to answer all of the questions, and then those questions, you'll sift through them, and the answer to which LED you should choose will be pretty clear. Now, all of these questions are actually on my blog, so if you want to take the time and answer them, that will really help you with your choices. Now, also over on the blog are a couple of graphs that go through every single device to give you kind of some ideas about what they can treat, what wavelengths they have, their best usage kind of parameters. I really do think that the graphs on the blog will be very, very helpful in not only determining which device to get, just learning a little bit more about what different devices on the market are capable of doing. So essentially we have three categories of LED devices, in my opinion. We have the wearables, we have the domes, and then we have the panels. Now, I actually like all three. It just really gets back to those questions. So you have to just go through those questions, because for every single person, you're gonna have different wants and needs from your LED. Now, the wearables are my personal favorite at this point. And the reason for that is I like to multitask. I really do like to be able to do multiple things while I'm doing my LED. The other thing is, for me, they're the most portable. A mask or a patch or any of those kind of wearable LEDs are also really, really travel friendly, and they're easy to use in so many different ways that they make them truly my favorite. I can use the patch from the light salon. I can use this as a hand treatment. I can use this on my décolleté. I could use it on my knee if I wanted to. I could put it on my lower back and treat my lower back. I could drape it over the top of my head and treat my scalp. So this is another one that to me is so incredibly versatile that is what's important to me. So you have to ask yourself, what are the important factors to you? And that will help narrow down the specific device that you decide to either get, or if you have a bunch of them at home, it may help you hone in on the one that you want to use consistently. I just got the new Flex from Mito. Now this is my one exception to the kind of portable versus panels. This is a panel that is also portable. And I have to say that I was really pleasantly surprised by this little guy. I got it and it is 12 lights. And the reason why they call it the Flex is because you can use all 12 as red. You can use all 12 as near infrared. You can use 6 as near infrared and 6 as red at the same time. So you can kind of choose and customize your treatment. Now, a lot of people talk about, pigmentation and LED. If you are nervous about LED and pigmentation, I always say that avoiding near infrared is probably a good idea. There's a tiny bit of heat with near infrared, and that can exacerbate some people's melasma. Now, to be clear, it isn't really well understood why some people flare their melasma with LED or any other trigger and some people don't. I have melasma and near infrared doesn't bother my melasma at all. I cannot say that for other people because, of course, I've heard reports in my group and under YouTube about people using near infrared LED and ending up with hyperpigmentation. So I wish I had a straightforward answer, but my number one recommendation would be to try and use red LED only and avoid near infrared and avoid blue LED so that you take the least amount of risk at flaring your melasma. Other than that, if you're really worried about your melasma, I would avoid LED altogether and I would just not take the chance. That's just my personal opinion. I took the chance because I felt like the benefits of LED far outweighed that little risk of flaring my hyperpigmentation. And I'm glad I took the chance because it doesn't flare my hyperpigmentation. But again, I know that it has for some, and so it's a legitimate concern to have. So this little guy is pretty cool. This is from Mito. The other thing that it comes with is it comes with kind of like a phone stand so that you can sit and treat yourself. This is good for treating your face and your neck at one time. But I've had people in my Facebook group talk about how their husband uses this on his feet at night. And you can obviously use this on your lower back. You can place it anywhere that you want. A little panel. The other thing, of course, is that it's small enough and it comes with a case and you recharge it with, I use the same charger that I use with my MacBook. So it's like a USB-C. It comes in this little, case to carry with you. So it's very travel friendly. The first panel that I have come across that I would say, hey, that's travel friendly. The other panels that I have absolutely loved in the past are the Mito 300. I have the Mito 1500, and I also have the Huga 300. Or the Huga, the size of the Mito 300. I can't remember if they call it it might be the mini. I can't remember, but all of those have been favorites of mine for a really long time. The reason why they're less on the top of my list at this point is because I am so into being able to do things while I am doing my LED, and that means the wearables. Now, each one of these has a different power, and the irradiance is measured by the light when it hits your skin. Now, I think that people get really caught up in how strong a device is or not. And the most important thing is that you follow the manufacturer's directions and you get the right dose. The skin needs a certain amount of light, and whether you're getting it by doing a wearable for 30 minutes or you're getting it from sitting in front of a panel from 6 to 12 inches away for 4 minutes, either way, it's the same dose by adjusting the irradiance and the distance and the time that you use the LED. Each and every device is going to have a different distance, different irradiance, and different time that you use it. But ultimately, we're trying for the same dose each time. the exact dose that our skin wants. There's of course a mathematical equation that we can do to determine, based on the irradiance of the device and all of that kind of stuff, you can determine how far away you sit and how long you sit. But I really think that the manufacturer should provide that information for you so you don't have to do that legwork. Let's talk about dome LEDs. Now, I have the Dermalux Flex and I also have the Soluma. Now, Dermalux is kind of the authority when it comes to LED as far as I'm concerned. Now, this one is expensive, but it is medical grade and it's clear in both the EU and in the United States. And the Dermalux Flex MD is the only home-based LED device in the world to hold medical CE for psoriasis. Does take longer to use. You lay under it for 20 to 30 minutes, but Dermalux has determined that that 30 minutes and the distance that you're sitting is exactly the dose that you need. I love the fact that you can set it to only blue, only red, or only near infrared, or you can do any kind of a combination of the three. It's really, truly the best at-home LED that is the closest to in-office LED you can get. Now, as far as other LEDs that are great for post-treatment, like post-microneedling, your panels are gonna be wonderful because they don't actually touch your skin. So if you are somebody who does a microneedling session and you love to follow it up with LED, which I highly recommend, then panels are fantastic for that because you literally sit 6 to 12 inches away. You get that treatment in 3 to 10 minutes at the most, and you have gotten a great post microneedling treatment without touching your skin with the LED. Now let's answer a few frequently asked questions. These will also be listed over on my blog, but we're gonna go over them pretty quickly. The first is, can I use topicals with LED? Now for a really long time, I said bare skin only when you are doing an LED treatment. The reason for that is that most of the clinical studies have been done on bare skin. And so I think a lot of us practitioners just went along with that. But the reality is, as I have studied this more and more, there really is no reason not to use water-based topicals before your LED treatment. Some of my favorites are definitely green rooibos and also copper peptides. There are small and very small and clinically insignificant studies that link copper peptides with an improvement in collagen and elastin when combined with LED. That is super duper interesting to me, and because there's no harm in trying it, I'm definitely putting that to the test to see how it works out. So copper peptides and LED are a topical that I recommend everybody just give a go. Now, of course, we can also use our Maysama with the LED. Maysama and Mito actually did a study on the combination of using the green rooibos in Maysama along with the Mito red light. It was a really interesting study. Of course, it was done by them, but it is a very interesting study that definitely showed massive improvements in all categories, all facets of skin health when combining Maysama with the Mito red light. So we can surmise that combining that antioxidant along with that red near infrared light equals a better treatment outcome. I thought that it was really compelling. Again, a small study, and it was done by Mito and by Maysama. So you can decide for that. But my goodness, I definitely give massive kudos to both Maysama and to Mito for even endeavoring to test the combination. It's another one that I like to do, and I rotate between Maysama and my copper peptides with my LED now. The other thing about that I really like is that a lot of people complain about the dryness of their skin when they do bare skin LED, and then after their skin feels a little tight and dry. And truly, there's probably some transepidermal water loss during the LED session on bare skin. So applying a topical that has any kind of hydration in it, along with some beneficial ingredients, is gonna be great for the skin, now that we know it's not impeding the light in any way. When I talked to various people who I consider experts in the field, they agreed that there really is no reason not to use topicals as long as you're not using, opaque creams and, using good judgment. And I think that the small studies indicate that it's not only not blocking the light, it's improving the light's effects on our skin. super excited about being able to use topicals with LED, honestly. Okay, I get this one a lot, and this is, can LED cause facial fat loss? Here's the thing. LED, there is a relationship between LED and fat loss when the LED is at a certain high fluence and there's exercise involved. Any of the wearables that we're talking about, the domes, any of those do not have the energy output ability to cause fat loss in your face. Now, there are LEDs that they're way high up there that when combined with aerobic activity, they show, but those don't exist as far as skincare treatments or anything like that. So there aren't reports from doctors and all of the studies that I've looked through and the experts that I've talked to and the research that I've done. I cannot find any evidence or reports of facial fat loss that is directly related to the use of LED when it's these devices that are lower fluence that are made for skin rejuvenation. Now, again, when you go up in the fluence and you combine it with aerobic activity, then yes, that's possible. But again, that up does not exist as far as skin rejuvenation. I encourage you to join my private Facebook group. It is a wonderful resource. It's a wonderful community, but I've been doing a bunch of lives over there, and it's a really great way to do show and tell and answer in real time questions about any of these subjects, LED of course included. So I'll put a link to the Facebook group in the description box. I encourage you to join. It's free and it's a really, really fun environment where we get to chat with each other and, just real-time information over there. Finally, while you're over on the blog, definitely sign up for my newsletter. I love sending out tips, tricks, tutorials, information, all of that stuff in a weekly or every 2-week newsletter. It's just a fun way to get more skincare education right to your mailbox. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful and educational, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.